Yo, Kip-Based Guy here. Hey, so huge shout out to our new friends at Seventour for sending out to me their 10-inch under-seat subwoofer that looks like it's going to be one of the better ones on the market. I've done quite a few under-seat subwoofer reviews, and I've pretty much have seen them all, and this is no different to them in terms of design. It's a very slim speaker made to go under your seat, so you can have a little bit of extra added bass in your ride without compromising any usable space, and it's something that you can tuck away and never know that it's there. So this is their 10-inch version. I know that they have a couple other versions, 8 inches, 12 inches. This one is 1000 watts, which is a pretty impressive power rating for a subwoofer that's under 3 inches thick. So this is gonna slide under pretty much every seat. Now, my Alfa Romeo Stelvio, just like maybe your car, has some feet ducts. So if you turn the air on and you have it on the feet mode, there's some vents underneath the driver and passenger seat. It still fits underneath there. So if you're worried about your seat being too short or too small or whatever, this should fit under just about every car. So not a problem there. Now there's some really cool stuff going on. Like, for example, this lights up and all that good stuff. Now it's kind of weird that the speaker lights up because it's an under-seat subwoofer. So it's kind of weird that there's a light coming from underneath your seat, but it does light up. If you think that's pretty cool, it does have LEDs. So let's talk about the subwoofer and the amplifier that's built in. So this is a 1000-watt amplifier, and the buttons that you have are the usual suspects. You have your phase switch, your auto power on switch, your low pass filter, a bass boost, your input gain, remote control. There is a bass knob for this. You have your high level and low level inputs. The RCA inputs are your low level. You have a fuse rated at 25 amps, and then you have your positive and ground and your remote inputs there. And then that's it. There's nothing else on the subwoofer. It's a metal enclosure. And then on the top is your 10-inch sub. And it's really sturdy. It's made of, I'm not sure what this sub is made out of, but it's a very hard material. So I'm very interested to see and hear how this thing performs. Now, they give you a lot of accessories inside of this box here. It actually is called accessories. And there's everything that you need to get it working. So first and foremost, you do get your owner's manual. In this bag, you get all of your connections. So your RCA cables are in here. You also get a ground wire and a power wire. And then you get a remote wire as well as a fuse. And you have some terminals as well as some heat shrink as well. So you get everything that you need right here to put power to this. So you want to power up to your battery, find a ground under the car, maybe the bolt that attaches your car, your seat to your frame, whatever. And then here's your remote bass knob. Now this bass knob is interesting. I've never really seen one look like this before. But this bass knob is more like a joystick, kind of like a handle, like a controller almost. Which is cool because it fits in a hand well, but there's no real place to mount it. You can't screw this or mount it in. It doesn't, at least it doesn't look like. So interesting, but you do have a bass knob here. Now, if you don't have an aftermarket head unit, maybe you're tapping into your factory audio system. They do give you a high to low level input converter. So if you want to tap into your speakers in your doors or maybe in the trunk of your sedan, you can use the high level inputs, which will convert that signal from your speakers to the RCAs that are provided in the bag. You plug it to the converter and then to your subwoofer, and that way you can get the signal coming from your radio. If you have an aftermarket system, then you still use this if you want to, but there are RCAs on the front of this here where you just plug directly from your head unit to the sub itself, or you can, if you want to use this, you can, I guess. But moving right along, here are some more high-level input speaker wires here. Look, we have some mounting brackets to keep this from sliding around underneath your car, or you can use the provided Velcro straps here where you can Velcro this to your car so that it stays in place, whatever you want to do. So now that we have everything unboxed and looked at, I'm actually going to do something a little bit different. It is 10:41 at night right now. So I definitely won't be hooking this up in the car at this moment, but we will be playing with it. So right here, what I have here is a DC to AC converter here. I've used this before, and this is pretty much going to act as my car battery. I'm going to hook it up to the subwoofer there, and then I'm going to use my head unit. You can call this a head unit. I have some RCAs that I can plug right to this sub. We're going to take a listen to this, and we're going to see all the lights, and I'll tell you what I think about it. Alright guys, so that was the demo of the Seventour 10-inch underseat subwoofer. And I have some good things to say, to be honest with you. So, of course, this is best case scenario. This is as if you're plugging it to an aftermarket head unit and using RCAs, that's low level input. That's going to give you the best sound, the best bass. But most people who buy this are going to be using it plugged into, tapping into their door speakers or their rear deck speakers and then putting it under your seat. So I'll give my review for both instances. If you're going to plug this in via RCA cable from your head unit, low level input into your subwoofer, I think you're not going to like what you get. When you have a head unit, it's best to get a proper, car sub that goes in your trunk. Get a box, whatever. You may want to skip something like this because you're probably going to expect more. If you have the money or whatever to buy a head unit, you probably are upgrading your speakers. You're probably upgrading your system altogether. You're probably going to want to look a different direction. But I think where this makes sense is for those who just need a little bit more bass and maybe their stock car audio, somebody who doesn't want to put a big sub in the back and change their head unit out, or maybe you have a modern day car where all the stuff is inside the screen, your air conditioner controls, your heated seats, whatever, it's all built into the screen so you can't take your head unit out. This is perfect for those who are going to tap into their speakers with the high level input and then plug it up to their subwoofer. This will 100% give you a little bit more bass in your car. And I do mean a little bit. It's not a very powerful subwoofer or a loud subwoofer, I'll say. You won't get, mirror shaking bass out of this, but you will 100% fill in what you're missing. So if you have a car audio system that's just lacking in, the low bass presence, this will help you out a little bit, and it will do it inconspicuously. You can just throw it underneath the seat. Now, I do have some complaints. Now, on the website, this is on Amazon.com, and in the owner's manual, it does say that the frequency response is between 20 hertz on upwards. And I will tell you right now, and I already knew this going in from other experiences, that these will never give you 20 hertz. You're not going to get much under 50 hertz. So this is perfect for somebody who's just tapping into your door speakers, because your door speakers probably aren't going to give you much under 50 hertz either. So this will help them give more bass or mid bass, but you're not going to get, like I said, trunk rattling, teeth rattling bass out of this. Nowhere near 20 hertz. It will try to play it, but you won't hear it. There's no replacement for displacement at the end of the day. The other complaint that I have are the LED lights, and maybe I just missed this, but I think it's cool that they glow. You guys can see the blue. I'm trying to unplug everything, but you guys can see the blue light here. On the back side of it, it also glows green around the power inputs. this is cool, except how do you turn them off? Because if this is under my seat, let's say I buy one and I stuff it under my seat and I'm riding around in the dark, well, now I have a blue and green light just kind of glowing under my seat. Maybe there's a way to turn it off. I don't know. I don't see one specifically. I don't remember seeing anything in the owner's manual. It's a cool idea if you're going to see the sub, but it's, I don't know, kind of pointless if it's going to be under a seat and then you just have this ambient light under one seat. It's just kind of different. So I do wish that there was a way to turn off the lights, or if you're going to have them, at least have us give us an ability to change the colors or change the brightness. So maybe they can do that in their next models moving forward. But as far as how it sounds, it does exactly what it's supposed to do. I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 stars because my expectations for this, it met. It's gonna fill in your low end bass. It's not gonna be nuts. You're not gonna hear you down the street before you turn into the neighborhood. I'm not gonna hear you before you get there. So that's what you want. You don't want to be a disturbance. You just want to put some nice lower end bass into your car without being a nuisance to yourself or people around you. This is perfect for that. Also, this only comes in at $108. So I think what you get, the performance, the wiring, the bass remote, the RCA cables are long. They look pretty cool. I think for everything that you get out of this, it's truly a 5 out of 5 stars. And I do recommend it. I do recommend it over a lot of the competition, I will say that. But with that being said, there will be a link down below in the description box so you can check this thing out for yourself. Thank you to Seventour for sending this to me out for review. I'm very late on this review, but I got it out for you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe if you are not already, and we will see you in the next video. Keep this guy out. Peace.